within this group because of the way that these 4 teams play?
Yeah, just because they're all different regions, things are going to be really different. You've got one NA, one China, one CIS, and one Southeast Asia. And as we saw from Starladder, the meta is quite different. And I think EG, for the most part, are going to pull from the NA meta that just looks so successful right now. So they banned Chen.
Standard bans.
Yeah.
Venomancer and Chen.
They ban Wisp next. Unless they have a... I don't think China really plays Wisp that much.
Nope. But it's VGJ.Thunder we're gonna...
Yeah, I think VGJ.Thunder ban Wisp, then EG ban Lich.
5 seconds
I think
remaining.
is how the overall standard. They either ban Lich or Pugna.
That leaves our 4 positions, then, and there's...
Then VGJ goes Night Stalker or Earth Spirit, and then Evil Geniuses will counter Spirit Breaker, and depends.
What about Earthshaker?
I think Spirit Breaker in general is more favored. That's weird that VG.Thunder banned Lich, by the way, because their first pick, that means they value one of the 4 heroes more. And if I had to guess which one, it'd probably be NS.
I feel like the 4 positions are all kind of like rock, paper, scissors. Like, in a way that I feel like they're all equally strong, just in different areas. Like, I can understand how a team would prefer being able to have Night Stalker or Earthshaker or Earth Spirit or Spirit Breaker. Like, those 4, right? Just based off of what their game plan is for this game.
I don't know if any of the other scenes really touched Spirit Breaker, though. We saw Na'Vi use it once, but it was kind of unsuccessful.
Yeah, that would definitely be more.
Yeah. So now VGJ, you'd imagine, for the most part, unless you take something weird like Bane, that you take one of your 4s here, unless you're really confident with playing all of them. Night Stalker. You could even do Nyx. That was LFY's opener for a while.
Fade's top 4 right now are Spirit Shaker.
What about Furion?
NP? I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can flash NP like that. So it is Nyx.
Okay.
That is like the.
That's the replacement. That's a Chinese replacement to like Spirit Breaker, right?
Yeah, it's
their
just
4 position that they like.
That's why I brought it up at the end because I forgot about it. But for the most part, I know China really likes this hero. It's really flexible. You can do a lot with it. It can go to the 4. It can go to the off lane. Some ways. It also stops Sumail a lot because he likes playing those int base mids. And I'll tell you, as somebody who loves playing int base mids, Nyx Assassin is like a complete nightmare. You hate playing heroes like Queen of Pain, Storm, Lina, like all these heroes. Like one pick just immediately makes them really unlikely. And so yeah, there's the NA Classic Spirit Breaker. Be Jakiro.
That's another flexible pickup. 5 position.
Yeah. I think the Spirit Breaker though is like, you should expect to see every NA team first to this hero, I think. I think they just enjoy it over traditional heroes like the Night Stalker and the Earth Spirit.
And the way AG have been playing these 2 crits.
Yeah.
Jakiros.
You think that the Spirit Breaker is like that really shows the prevalence of the laning phase, right? Because compared to other 4 positions who can give you harder initiations than Spirit Breaker, like he dominates the first 20 minutes and he kind of starts falling off past that.
I don't agree with you there. I think that what Spirit Breaker gives you more than anything, like it's almost like nowadays we have like 2 different metas. It's like one, you pick heroes that are just like strong overall, and then the second is like you do block picks in the sense that if you pick this hero, you now remove like a large section of the pool of current heroes that you feel comfortable playing. For example, like if you take SB, you don't have to take such a strong laning phase hero anymore against the offlaner because you know that they can't pick a hero like Nature's Prophet, for example. And all these heroes that are based around like split pushing, for example, it's really annoying to play when there's a Spirit Breaker on the map because he'll always give you vision. Like that's the other thing that Spirit Breaker always does for you. He gives you vision at the back line. So let's say you have a really good ward place in a team fight. You just charge the back line, like whoever you think will be in the furthest back. You'll get vision of the entire area when you come in.
In similar way, the Nyx Assassin pickup kind of blocks any attempt of the intelligence heroes is Necrophos being so prevalent in the.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a different way to play, I think.
So an early freeze pick here.
Yeah, Necrophos. Then they have to ban probably Pugna. I would ban Pugna.
That also, I feel like that plays into EG's hands a little bit because I know that they like to try and save Sumail's hero until as late as they can possibly get it, so he doesn't get a solid count.
Well, they can still switch the Necrophos out of the mid lane, but Necrophos is probably one of the better mids to deal with Spirit Breaker. So it's a nice piece to put forward, right there. The only other ones would be like maybe Death Prophet. Quap's not terrible versus Spirit Breaker, right? But there are a lot of mids who have a problem with that 4 position. It's like such a big problem in the first 5 minutes of the game.
So the likelihood is he gets banned second phase. If he doesn't get taken down.
Okay, so I was about to suggest Puck, and you move Necro to safe lane, because Puck is probably the best hero dealing with Spirit Breaker. Yeah, you should do that. That's the correct play. You want to get rid of all the heroes that are really annoying to play against for SB. Maybe they even take something like NP themselves. But
You think that's why they banned the Death Prophet in the one?
It's
like
just
the biggest problem.
It's just what China does in general too. They really like DP as a hero. I was surprised they didn't ban Pugna, but if they don't ban Pugna, then it means they're confident EG won't pick in on the fact that they have a Nyx assassin.
EG's turn to
Okay, so
pick.
they're not afraid of EG Pugna because they think that the Nyx essentially blocks it. Yeah. So now for EG, you need to try to find out. You have to reveal something right now.
10
Can they
seconds
pull
remaining.
out Universe now?
I think there's decent chance.
5 seconds remaining.
I feel like you need another form of initiation.
You think they're just giving the Pugna then?
I would take like Wyvern or Shaker or NP or something. Oh, there's still Wisp.
Of course, yeah.
That's why we thought that VGJ would first 2-ban it.
Now they've got with Spirit Breaker.
Yeah, and they've missed that because they've assumed the Spirit Breaker and Jakiro.
Exactly, and that's why Jakiro as that second pick is really safe because now you can just
move to the off lane.
Precisely. You can just say, okay, they didn't ban our Wisp. Like, this is our Wisp.
Yeah.
Crit Wisp. Come on.
Yeah. It's really dangerous to have any of those tankier offlaners with a Wisp lineup. We used to see like Legion Commander Wisp, for example. Now that's not where the Wisp is going to be living necessarily, but it can definitely make that, you know, that solo Jakiro, all of a sudden a Spirit Breaker charges in and a Wisp tethers in as well. All of a sudden you're facing up against an aggro tri-lane that shut the Necrophos down. There are a lot of possibilities for EG to put VGJ on the defense.
So when you're on second pick here, you pretty much have to reveal 2 out of your 3 cores. So they have to pick Sumail or Arteezy's hero right now. And I think you probably take Arteezy's hero. Unless you feel like you can
last
do
pick as well, so that tends to be the way that they will pick Sumail's hero, is they try and leave it till last, especially when they've got the last.
Or they can just do... I'm not sure. Because there are a lot of one-position heroes right now that could auto-win for EG, and they might just want to wait. Like, if they take a really greedy one that they don't see coming, like this AM.
Yeah, the natural pressure that comes out from the Jakiro offlane, if they actually waited on their safe lane, field everything, that they would just have the guaranteed 1v1 matchup, and they could win potentially.
Yeah, but they take Lone Druid.
10 seconds remaining.
This is their high ground hero. It's nowadays in Dota, like you always need a high ground hero. It's the only way to win. It's the only way to play anymore.
And Will, you told me that the only way to win was to have a Brood player.
That's true too. You need all these like stupid OP heroes that are like really annoying to play against.
Do you think Lone Druid's good versus Necro? It should be, right? In theory, like a
range
DPSer
and then you draw him away. It's not really though, because like if you want a diffusal, you kind of have to get close. It's all right though. There's
the
a lot
can
of
use diffusal.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways that you can play LD nowadays. Like in the past, it was always the regular bear, and then once the patch hit, it changed to using the range form, and then I think it's kind of swung back around towards using the bear again.
He's got a HP talent. But I was watching a lot of Lone play recently. It seemed like most of them just preferred going into melee form and picking up a bunch.
So VGJ. I'm trying to think of 1 positions right now that would be any good.
I mean, you need a really good gap closer to deal
Yeah.
with Lone Druid.
Probably take like Shaker or something. I think you need another form of initiation or stun or team fight. So they do take Shaker. It's like in Dota nowadays, it's not enough to just have this one hero that runs in and starts the fight for you. Oh, it's so garbage. When teams do that, it's the only thing that like really makes me sad. It was like we watched Navi play the other day and they had Spirit Breaker like charging a puck. And you know it was the secret game. And you know this isn't going to work. But he has to do it because he has no other form of initiation. Like, Spirit Breaker runs in. Congrats. Like, you're not going to kill anybody.
And out of all the 4 positions, Nyx Assassin is the most unreliable.
Yeah. So you can't just have 1 stun. You need multiple stuns to win Dota nowadays. And so for EG, they kind of need another hero that can just like go in. So it's like DK, it's not bad for them. If they're really crazy, then Sumail can play something like the Brewmaster.
Dire team ban.
You still have options.
Mirana?
Mirana's not bad against Necro. I know that's because she's a diffusal carrier.
I think you have a rough time versus.
Yeah.
It's kind of like playing a puck against
10
lockdowns too tough.
DK or Brew.
Yeah, I like the tankier options that you.
5 seconds
I
remaining.
actually really like Brew. I think Brew's pretty sick.
Brew would have a little bit of problem, Necrophos, because of how powerful that Reaper's Scythe is, preventing you from getting off your ult.
So they thought maybe the quad, but we already kind of ruled that out.
I think they need another hero to go in. That or a hero that just like
By
wins
the
the
way,
late game.
Just as a throw in there. There you go. Siler's second most played hero.
10 seconds remaining.
Oh, this would
They
be
only
pretty...
have Jakiro.
Yeah.
Spirit
Oh,
Breaker's
boy.
pretty good though.
Seconds remaining.
Yeah, Spirit Breakers.
SP's
I mean,
good.
it's good for the vision game and stuff, but
Okay, so they take Lycan. It's a Roche hitter. We talked about how you need a high ground. There it is. So for EG, I don't know, you got options. I think you need something with Disable though. Like if there wasn't a Nyx, I would have said Ember was even good.
yeah,
You may
Nyx
now
counters
select
that.
your heroes.
Take BS.
Bloodseeker, pretty good counter to Lycan, locking down his obvious move.
Undraft. Undraft. Which way is it going though, gents? That's the question. So predictions time, Austin.
I kind of like it. The Bloodseeker, I think it counters the Lycan. I think it does well enough in lane. It has an obvious advantage with the Spirit Breaker as well. There's a bit of kind of questionable about Lone Druid. I haven't been the biggest fan of him this patch. I've pretty much only seen him in pubs though. So EG's obviously. I'll back EG.
Okay, well.
I think Vichi's gonna do it. I think that their team fight is gonna be a little bit too strong. I think the laning phase will determine a large part of it, but I feel pretty okay about Vici.
All right, okay. One for each of the 2 teams here on the panel. It's time to head over to our commentary team. The early risers in the booth this morning. They're not going to get fogged up, but they are going to stay very lyrical. Let's head over there right now for game number 1.
Paul, all I need in the morning is more of those wonderful puns. That just makes my life wonderful. You don't like it? Whatever, man. It's amazing.
Paul's jokes just don't do it for me lately. Sorry, Paul.
Well, I'm excited because this game is going to do it for me. It's EG facing off against VGJ.Thunder, the first game of the day. To me, one of the ones I'm more excited about, but you felt like you really liked that Bloodseeker pick as well.
I did like the Bloodseeker pick, but I was more on board with like what Will was talking about, that massive amount of team fight that Vici does have. I was also just happy seeing ROTK sitting down at the computer. You were laughing about it a lot. He's just like, ROTK just took his chair. He just actually claimed control over it, claimed control over the draft. But this should be quite an interesting one, seeing Lone Druid for the first time in a while, seeing Lycan for the first time in a while as well. Been a bit of time since we've seen those. And of course, our favorite Necro. Yeah.
What a guy. He's just around. And for me, I think that the thing that's going to be interesting to watch for this series, at least, is a little bit of the carry position. Like, you've got this sort of duality that goes on. I think the panel was touching on it earlier. Arteezy and Sylar, I think that in a lot of ways, they become almost more famous for things that happen outside of the Dota game themselves than anywhere else. I mean, these guys have been around and been at the center of a lot of the talking points for a while here. But real quickly, what's the pause about? Is just
Didn't really They didn't really say much. They just paused the game, so they just said don't give up, and then RTZ spam and go. Typical Artur, even inside of his real games.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, it's kind of a thing that people might not be super familiar with. But, you know, Sylar back in the day, he was around the TI5 era having a lot of issues with the LGD team that's actually here now as well.
Yep.
And then, interestingly enough, he was actually having a lot of disputes when he was on the VGJ team later with his now coach, ROTK. And, you know, he's always maintained that really consistent high level of play. But that's, to me, the thing that stands out is the players being very, you know, open and verbose with their talking points. But Fear moving out early, TP's out to lane. Looks like he's going to try and get down a ward pretty far there.
The RTZ versus Sylar matchup is fun, though. Just really joyous, because RTZ looked at more of this clowny kind of, you know, very boisterous guy who just, I mean, he's just himself, and everybody loves him. And Sylar, yeah, like you said, most people don't really know that kind of story about him. Definitely pretty interesting. And another pause? Looks like this time it's from IO, though, so it's... Or, how are we gonna? Oh, this is gonna be confusing. We have a Wisp on the other team, and there's a player called IO. All right.
Yeah.
We'll just call him Witch Doctor. There we go.
Mr. Witch Doctor.
Witch Doctor needs to pause the game.
He was tagged up earlier as Kama, too, as well. But game's getting underway here, and things to watch out for as far as the laning stage is concerned. Nyx Assassin, you know, the panel had mentioned earlier, this is a hero that's going to most likely run mid and try and just make Sumail's life a little bit of a living hell. Do you think you can still do that against a Bloodseeker?
It's a little bit harder. You can try to harass him out, but it's going to be what? It looks like a Lycan versus Bloodseeker matchup in the mid lane, so they're not really going to be able to put too much pressure as the double melee. And it looks like EG is setting up aggressive lane, because Lone Druid is one of those heroes you can leave alone. He's self-sufficient, kind of can deal versus an Earthshaker by himself, and they're trying to get that pressure happening. We talk about it a lot, that you want to just get your Bloodseeker's Thirst stacking up, so you just try to harass the enemies, any of the lanes, just to let him have that favorable matchup. And Bloodseeker, I mean, even though Nyx is okay with like armor, it's not like he has any type of stout shield or anything along those lines. He has boots, so he can't take heavy right-click harassment once Bloodseeker gets those Thirst stacks charged up, if he is still in that mid lane harassing. But we'll see, of course, Fade and the Witch Doctor moving toward that top lane to support the Necro. It's going to be a lot of pressure coming up from a Jakiro IO Spirit Breaker lane.
And you see right here as well, Fear was able to spot the Nyx Assassin when he placed down that ward, so Crit brings a sentry out to himself. They get the D ward, and now going to move in and maybe get a little bit aggressive in this top lane.
That's why you want, especially when you want to read, like, know exactly what matchup you want to get. You want to know that they're going to be sending that Necro top. You always want to TP as these supports early on to get that situation happening. And Necro is going to be in some trouble. The first hit bash coming out.
Yeah, now the Coconut's bouncing back and forth, but they're already able to pick up the rune and back away for now. Looks like EG going to be able to escape without too much harm, I would imagine. They do have another Impale in just a second, but Crit's going to get the jump away.
He's on the low ground, though.
Actually ended up not quite getting it, and, well, with that slow, are they actually thinking about turning back around onto Fade? Fade in some trouble, and looks like he's going to end up dropping as well. First blood drawn by Uni.
Necro left the fight to go block the creep waves rather than stick with his teammates. So they kind of split up there. Big problem happening. You don't want that happening in your tri-lane, giving the other team a lead start. And who actually got the first kill? All right, Universe did, but Crit's going to have his bottle coming out any moment now on IO. Anyway.
Oh. And then mid lane as well. This is going to mean a straight up, at least for the moment, 1v1, but AO moves into there as well, and it's going to try and keep Sumail back for the moment. Although that will mean they're also sharing a little bit of experience.
Seems okay for EG right now. Really good start in the lanes. Getting all the matchups they want. They're going to be able to really pressure this Necro, and that's kind of the win condition that you look at for VG.Thunder. Is sure, they have this Lycan who can hit buildings for them, but they picked like full counter to that Lycan with the Bloodseeker. It's really a lot to make sure that the Necro has to be online for them to actually be online in that mid game, and EG is not letting him get anything up there.
Yeah, this is a frustrating one to say the very least. And, you know, you pay a price of having Sumail get dual laned, and right now he's still top of the CS. Like, he doesn't care at all.
I mean, he's pushing Sylar out right now.
Yeah, this is real bad. Meanwhile, EG disrupting the pull. They're going to be able to get the creep wave back. So that means Necro's fully under tower and Sylar out of lane as well.
I mean, they're pretty much winning 3 lanes at the moment.
I hear that's not good to win Dota.
Yeah, that's pretty devastating. Crit didn't even have to expend any bottle charges. He just got it. He's going to be camping the rune. And he gets illusions. So if he wants to just heal somebody up with that at the start, he'll probably tell Sumail to be aggressive, but Nick's rotating over. He's just going to grab the illusion rune.
No, Impale is there, and well, he's just going to back out again. So, again, a great early start. It looks like Siler was able to get some decent amount of the CS, but up top as well. Now they're going onto the Necro and drop down fairly low, but I don't think that they're going to be able to make anything else happen.
But they've got him low. Those thirst stacks. You see Sumail's, well, Mr. S has 350 movement speed without boots and plenty of damage. And he's going for a kill build. He even gets the Blood Right skill. We've seen a lot of people just going 2-0-2 on Bloodseeker, but wanting to have that point to not only push out the wave, but he has an IO, so he wants to be able to use that mana so he can abuse the tether a bit.
Absolutely.
We haven't looked much at this bottom lane, of course. It's of course a Lone Druid favored matchup, but Shaker in the first few levels, until that Lone Druid hits 5, can get some farm. But as soon as Lone Druid hits 5, you have to pretty much get help from the lane or sit really far back and get minimal CS.
Well, mid lane, the charge is coming through onto Sylar, and looks like they're going to cancel it now. They could even think about, like you said, going down there for Yang, or they might just kill him if they happen to get up close enough. That is a scary-ass lane for an Earthshaker.
Yeah, it's already getting to the point where he's just going to be zoned down in mid. The charge
again.
comes out, and with the Blood Right, there should be more than enough to chase him down.
Easy kill there as well. Fade not able to make anything happen to turn that back around. So EG continuing to assert some dominance. A 2,000 gold lead at just around 3.5 minutes. It doesn't really look like it's going to slow down any from this either.
No, I mean, they have to try to alleviate the pressure somehow. They're going to have to switch up the lanes because it's just too much of a blunder. Siler actually might just do a jungle, it looks like here.
Oh, top lane as well. They're bringing down the Necro very low, and the charge is canceled there as the Witch Doctor was underneath the tower as well. But I mean, like you said, that means Bloodseeker all the more damage. He's got 3 points in Thirst right now. He can kind of do whatever he wants.
Siler actually just waits for double bounty rune. So yeah, he doesn't even want to really be going into the lane much. He'll be able to take a DD rune from Crit, and he's going to walk him down, give him some right clicks. Someone actually probably has to get to tether range. Oh, he has his illusions. Nice.
He's hugging himself.
Mm-hmm.
Well, 25 and 13 is the Bloodseeker. That means that Yang has decided to come mid, and well, no points in Fissure actually on the Earthshaker. Not often that you see that.
Oh wow, 0-2-2, huh? Not even the 1 point. Usually it's pretty value to get the aftershock.
Top
lane.
Easy kill again. Uni and Fear getting together to find that kill onto the Witch Doctor.
These are two of the strongest early game laners because of how just tanky and durable they are. 880 HP on Spirit Breaker, 5 armor. Same kind of thing for Jakiro. 880 HP and 5 armor as well. So
you just, I mean, it's just the simple CS across the board. It's just so heavily in favor of VG.
Like we said, they had to abandon the bottom lane. They can't lane anybody versus the Lone Druid at the moment because, yeah, just how strong it is mid.
Oh, and the silence comes through. He's not going to be able to use it. Maybe now with the enchant totem, but still slowed down by the tether. And Sumail not deciding to die for it, but it honestly doesn't matter. He's almost level 6 too. This is going to start to get pretty ugly, particularly once he ganks.
Top lane now, maybe. They can actually get Universe, it looks like. He's going to go down.
Kill.
That's something. You know, we talked about VG.Thunder's lineup. If in the mid game, once they have their levels in their team fight, they can actually be quite strong. But if they just get absolutely dominated in the laning phase, they're not going to be able to get to do that. Arteezy is getting pretty massive in that safe lane. I'll be using the side pull constantly, as well as farming the lane. Now Yang moves back toward bottom, but this is a level 4 Earthshaker versus a nearly level 7 Lone Druid, who's just going to push him out of lane every time he shows.
This could be good mid lane, though. The smoke coming in from AO and Fade. If they can somehow manage to find a kill here onto Sumail, it's obviously a huge amount of gold coming back their direction, and he is pretty far forward here.
Do they even have the damage? I guess with Maledict, but it's only level 1 Maledict.
Oh, this is pretty tough to actually make this work. They need the initiation to come from the coconuts, and they're going to walk forward now. They're underneath the ward. There's going to be a catch. The silence is there as well, though, and the turnaround, Io shows up. Mr. S not going down. The charge is coming through from Fear as well. It's all gone wrong for VGJ again. Oh, Giannis.
It's very hard. That's the problem with playing versus a Wisp team. Like, you go for these type of ganks and your damage is already minimal. Io just TPs in and counteracts everything that you're doing there. This is already looking pretty disastrous. Siler's just straight up jungling. Arteezy and Fear just kill Yang bottom, and now they're going to put the pressure at the tower on top.
No, they can't even get to the shrine, really. Didn't even necessarily want to use it, I'm sure. It's just, it's too much. Well, where do you go from here if you're VGJ.Thunder? Like, what's the sort of big play? Was it that smoke rotation?
I mean, who do they really kill? That's the problem.
Yeah.
It's like they can't really abuse the bottom lane. The mid lane, the IO is just sitting there. What, do they want to just gank a Jakiro? I don't think that that's the case at all. I think they just need to send multiple, like 4 heroes in one situation and try to get catch-up through some dives. But EG's playing very conservative. They're not really looking to dive into towers. They kill people at the tower, and then they stop. You saw Sumail hesitating. He didn't even want to dive past it. And they have incredibly good wards. They're seeing everything that VGJ's doing. It's very problematic here right now.
Mid lane, Yang gonna walk away, but, well, he has level 5 in the fissure. It's not gonna be enough to keep him alive. Well, Impale, the turnaround. Is it gonna be enough damage?
Nope.
Most assuredly not. And
bottom now, Sylar getting bullied by Arteezy. Another root, and he's just dead. He's actually just gonna get ran down. The rotation's coming in. The cast is good.
That's pretty good. That's a decent turnaround. The Impale's there as well. They need a little bit more damage, but I think that this should still be Arteezy going down. A big kill.
Diving. That's the one way that they die. It's the one way that VG gets back in this is if EG does go for this type of dive plays. And the cask, beautifully positioned. Definitely a mistake there by Artur.
The plus side for EG is that you still have almost 70 CS at 8 minutes, and Bloodseeker's 3-0 with the mid tower down.
Yeah, and 32 denies on top. So even better for that experience advantage. And now Universe makes his way toward mid. They start blood raging him with that liquid fire. He starts sieging the tower a bit.
Bottom lane. VGJ again set up, but do they realize right now that the Bloodseeker's in the area? Sylar going to get caught. They have the silence out as well, but again, a lot of damage onto this lone druid. The coconuts were bouncing, the right clicks are there. It might be enough with the Malphite as well. Maledict, excuse me, but Io comes in and they're able to get the turnaround. So even when it was looking like it was a possibility of something good, nothing for free.
Oh, 3 for... That's... Yeah, this isn't good. This is really, really bad. Even though they have a Necro in their lineup, he is very susceptible to dying to what EG does have at the moment. And I mean, it's looking like an absolute blunder. This Bloodseeker has double the net worth of any of the heroes on VG.Thunder.
Let's take a moment and think about the choices that were made. This game is looking mighty rough. And the other thing about this is Bloodseeker is such a hero that's able to scale incredibly hard. Like, especially with that level 10 talent, the 225 health. Yeah. I mean, they're never going to be able to kill him eventually.
Trying to think the way that they kind of get back in this one, but they don't really have, they don't have deep push to stop the tower siege. It's a shaker, a fissure, and a cask. Like, these aren't, usually you want some kind of nukes. These aren't really what we're talking about in that instance. And like the Lycan's just so underleveled. Necro's only level, at least he's level 5 on the Necro, so maybe they just play around the Necro entirely to try to get back in this one with the Shaker sitting behind, but they're all in some trouble. You see bottom here, the replay coming out, Arteezy, of course, with the Maledict. They easily kill the Lycan under the Bloodseeker Rupture, as it's like the hard counter. Crit with the clutch save coming out on Arteezy, and then, yeah, just a full cleanup by EG.
Yeah, it's such a difficult situation to be in right now. And I don't really, like you said, see where you go as an answer. I mean, you talked about the Necro playing around him a lot. What does that look like?
They have to sit behind him pretty much, and if he's trying to get gone on, they have to try to help him, but I think they're just too under level. They need to try to find a ways just to catch up, see where EG's setting up and just dodge for now, but they're at such a deficit that I don't even know if dodging is the way to go. He's like he's level 5. He's level 5 in comparison to level 9, almost level 10 Bloodseeker. That's... yeah.
And I mean, you did talk about, you know, turnarounds that happen, especially with levels. You start to get a return kill and things will, you know, rapidly swing into your favor. But it is a 5,000 net worth lead at sub 10 minutes.
I think they just have to four-man behind the Necro or 3-man behind the Necro and have the Lycan farming elsewhere and just try to get some setup ganks with Reaper Scythe or just sit behind him. It's one or the other.
Well, Lycan is currently in the top lane. They do have 4 heroes moving down bottom.
Oh, Scan catches them.
Oh, and Arteezy not going to get found. He just throws out the Primal Roar, runs away. They get down a ward, but I think they were looking for more. Top lane? Sylar? Maybe going to get dove. Maybe they'll just suffice to take the tower.
Oh, he's got under vision. There's a charge coming out. Universe isn't looking to stop here.
Oh, God. Another quick kill as Sylar going to die here underneath the tier 1 and should be the tower taken as well.
This is, yeah. I'm just really trying to think how they can get back in versus this EG lineup, because the problem is even if they try to do this for people sitting behind one hero and the Lycan farming elsewhere, Crit's about to be level 6 on IO, so they can just set up for these global ganks with Spirit Breaker charge all over the place. And Arteezy can just pretty much now sit in the jungle and free farm until he gets that Mask of Madness up. And the other four players from EG can probably just handle Thunder on their own at the moment.
I mean, look at this. No respect given at all. They're just running at this Witch Doctor, and he's just going to die. They're going to turn it back around. Okay, Crit ends up falling. Not a bad way to make this start, and with the Reaper Scythe used just to keep Fear in place for the moment, this should be enough. No, he gets the charge away, and Fear able to get out of that one. But it was an IO kill, at least.
Yeah, but that's just an IO.
Yeah.
And that's a Lycan ult popped, 120-second cooldown. Earthshaker's not really farming much. Universe is constantly threatening that top lane, shoving it in, being able to now threaten the tier 2. And like I said, Arteezy's just free farming during all of this.
It's the smallest of silver linings around a very dark cloud for VG.Thunder. And I guess, like, you know, going for Vlad's here for the Lycan, it's like 5 manning items at least, where maybe you can be a little bit stronger in the fights by getting those auras up. I might be grasping at straws here.
I mean, 7,000 gold lead at the 11-minute mark. That's, you know, just thinking about it in, you know, just numbers, it's at 700 GPM advantage.
Right.
It's absolutely massive. That means every single hero has 120 GPM over the other ones. Not even the... Of course, it's different because of like who has which farm, but bottom lane, Necro does not have his TP up, gets ruptured, now charged out as well.
Well, he might be able to get the TP off now, and Spirit Breaker's still a long ways away. They will be able to escape.
At least he lives. He gives some time for his Earthshaker to get some farm in the top lane. I think that's the key, really, for Thunder to catch back up in this game, is get Earthshaker, Blink Dagger, and hope for these humongous teamfight ultimates to really come to fruition.
I guess that is something to be said as well, is that they haven't taken a ton of objectives around the map yet. It's just the 2 tier 1 towers. Well, a decent amount of damage was done up in the top. Oh, Universe also going to be caught. The Impale not quite on the mark, and Fissure was on cooldown.
Yeah, he's got Yule Scepter already on the Chikiro as well, so a little bit of enhanced movement speed on top. Just lets him get away. Bottom.
Charge coming through, mass TPs, but the tower's already gone. Now time to run away. Fear not wanting to get caught, but it looks like he might be one that gets brought down here as another kill going back for VGJ. Okay.
It's okay. I mean, they lost the tower though, and they had to commit super heavily to get that kill. But it is, at least it's something they're getting on the board. But it's still very problematic when Lone Druid's free farming during all this, and 8k gold lead on top of a 5k experience lead. Experience maybe will level out if they get lots of those kills, but...
Relocate, Yule's Scepter lift up. They've caught themselves the big bad wolf, and he's not looking too bad right now. He ends up dropping in spite of the Shrine heal.
My god. Yeah. This Lycan's gonna really struggle. I mean, that Bloodseeker pick was absolutely perfect versus Lycan. We've seen just what happens. Of course, the Rupture, you can't do anything every time you pop ulti. Bottom lane. Charge coming out.
Now, there's also a smoke that's in the jungle right now. EG feeling rather safe, but they might end up losing Crit here. The Impale comes through, they find him, and a kill for the Earthshaker. Meanwhile, Universe is not quite going to get caught out there. Coconuts will follow him. But again, a little bit of life for VGJ.
They're killing the supports. They need to get some core kills, though. But anything that gets this Earthshaker close to the Blink Dagger, that's the only way that they can come back in this. And he's looking okay on it. About 300 gold away from it. They have to hope pretty much now for some EG clump or some aggressive relocates to happen so he can set up some very good either casks on top of a Earthshaker ultimate. And I think they have Veil finished too on the Necro, so at least their magic damage is starting to get a bit more online for Thunder.
Yeah. He has dreams of a Radiance. But yeah, the Earthshaker, as you can see, is very close to his Blink Dagger now. Will be able to get that completed once he heads back towards the base. And as far as EG is concerned, where do they go now with their draft? Is it do they need to be at all careful with the Blink Dagger on Earthshaker?
I think they just don't have to not clump, and they haven't been at all either. Arteezy's just been farming. Everybody's kind of split. They're in 3 different lanes just farming. Now the Universe is starting to gather back up. But they just have to make sure that they don't get caught by these massive teamfight ultis. That's the one thing that, you know, like Will was talking about. That's what Thunder can do in this game. But when you're at such a detriment, it makes a big difference when you're playing versus an IO as well, on top of those heals. I mean, Sumail's going to have a BKB soon to counteract that pretty much only magic damage that Thunder does have, because the Lycan just gets completely shut down by a single Rupture.
Well, meanwhile, all of VGJ underneath a ward in the Radiant jungle, and the charge is going to come through from the Spirit Breaker. Right now, VGJ don't realize that this is happening. They're also bringing Yang down to the bottom, and
this is scary for Thunder here, even though they have the Earthshaker coming. He's not here just yet.
yeah, scary stuff indeed. Macro Pyre already down. They're caught for the moment. Coconut's going to bounce as well. This is going to be the Nyx Assassin already dead with the silence. And, well, Fierce caught himself another. Meanwhile, the Necro going to get caught as well. Earthshaker coming in. Can he make anything happen? No. It's a little bit too late. Well, it looks like they're going to lose that Witch Doctor as well, as he is eventually going to get ran down. He's making him juke and work for it, but...
Got him. Got the cask and the Maledict on him. Yeah, it's that Ward's Win You games, that vision was perfect for the charge. They saw exactly the trap that Thunder was trying to set, but little did they know the trap was being set on them.
And you can imagine there, if like the Earthshaker gets there a little bit earlier, there was that moment where EG was grouped together, but it didn't end up happening. And now Bloodseeker has a BKB on top of the Maelstrom, so I'm struggling to see what their route is even more back into this game. It's even more difficult.
I mean, Universe is itemizing perfectly too. He's going to go for the pipe build next, and that's when we'll see them probably group up, go for Roche, and that's where Thunder is going to really struggle because they can't really get into that Roche pit. There's a Sentry down. Nyx is their pretty much initiator. You don't want Earthshaker to just jump in blindly and try to go for this Echo Slam versus EG's lineup. Because how does Lycan just can't get into the fights? There's just always going to be a Rupture up. So the way that we've seen people adjust versus that is, you know, you get the book 3 on the Lycan, so you're not suffering so much because you can actually deal damage when the Rupture is on you, but EG's got what they need to take that out anyway.
Radiant are scanning.
All right, 9,000 net worth lead, 15-5, and feeling like very little agency left in the tank for VGJ.Thunder. Another move up here towards the top, but again, this is going to be scouted out by EG. Ward over here on the high ground, and Universe just backs out again.
Yep, perfect wards. Again, they've had vision in the path toward going to the bottom lane. They've had vision in the path going toward the top lane, so they're always aware of what Thunder's doing. Charge coming out, probably want to go for a relocate, but there are a lot of Thunder heroes there.
Well, and they're moving in even closer. That is Fate underneath a Sentry ward as well, so they knew the Nyx was chasing. And it looks like EG actually want to battle, but they actually smoked up right underneath this ward that's about to expire as well. So VGJ, they know what's coming.
They can't take a head-on fight versus EG at the moment, though.
Yeah.
They're just at way too much of a deficit. They're doing an okay job of not just bleeding away kills, though, avoiding fights. But they're not, it's not like they're gaining any advantage because of it. It's still the Lone Druid and the Bloodseeker absolutely free farming. Universe as well. Constantly sitting in that top lane, pushing it in.
So how did we get here? Was it just the laning stage that was so bad for VGJ.Thunder, or was it like outplays coming from EG?
There's a lot on the laning phase. I mean, getting that aggro tri-lane to shut down the Necro. They just have favorable matchups across the board. Bloodseeker in mid, Lycan can't really harass because you're a melee hero. With a Witch Doctor, can start throwing some, but Poor Man's Shield is a good item, to say the least. And yeah, it's just favorable matchups across the board in the lanes.
Again, they can sort of see all of EG there in the mid lane and not really do all that much about it. And then at the same time, it's Universe that's just able to push this top tower with impunity, already brought down to very low HP, and they're going to have to deny this one most likely.
It's like it's almost like they have to throw out some like solo hero echo slams to try to get these pickoffs, but EG just always aware of where Thunder's positioned before they even make the play. Universe already knows he's being stalked. He pings it out. He's going to get gone on, though, here. Maybe he can get caught out with Shaker blinking forward.
It's just maybe a little bit too late. The relocate. It's going to Echo Slam. All right, they bring him down. Not a bad way to start this one, but now they need to get out with everybody else. Fade is going to go down, as well as the Witch Doctor, and now they fully committed to this. Oh, no, they're getting completely torn apart. Yang is gone to Necro. He can stay alive for a minute, but only actually a couple of seconds. They've caught Sylar as well, and well, will they actually be able to bring him down? It doesn't look like it.
And now they commit to go to a Roche. They've got Blood Rage, they've got Bear with Mask of Madness, and the Medallion finished up on Fear. They, you know, they threw the solo Echo Slam, but how far it was from any of their heroes. Like, look how far it was from their tier 2. They had to commit all the way to the hard camp on the far left, and there's no way they can catch up to help there, while EG has global potential. They have a shrine right there, they have a tower right there, and they have IO.
Well, I don't know exactly where you go at this point again. It's sort of been the story of this game, it feels like. That
it's like, not only are they getting, not only they're just, the lanes were such a blunder, but they're getting completely outmaneuvered by EG at the moment too. But Fear is going to pay with his life here.
All right.
He got the ward down, but they know it's there, so it's going to get dewarded instantly. A little bit of a bold play there coming out from Clint. And here we do see it, the replay again. Universe does get set up, but with that hood, he pops it, absorbs a lot of that magic damage since majority of Thunder's is magic, and he's fine with dying like this. I mean, 3 for 1, Echo Slam committed.
Yeah, it's a painful one. And, you know, you talk a little bit about the Lone Druid in this game, too. He's already got, you know, Mask of Madness, the Maelstrom himself. He's just dealing a ton of damage without having to put himself at all in danger.
Yeah, it's the different, you know, we've seen a lot of that Radiance on the Bear build lately, going for Mask of Madness, and you take only the Bear route. Now, I've seen Arteezy been doing this on his stream recently, too, going for the range Lone Druid, the sniper Lone Druid that we all used to see so often. And now, Arteezy's pretty alone top. He's got Aegis.
All right, big kill here as well. They're holding on for the moment, and they're going to be able to bring him down. The Bear's still staying strong here as well. Yang, he does have a Blink Dagger back up, but with crit in the area, I think it's a little bit too scary. And actually got the relocate out. In the meantime, the Necro dies over by the mid lane, which is where they relocated to, and well,
Can crit get the tether out? It's going to be tough.
Well, definitely no.
Nope, he's dead. He's got a lot of stick charges, though, but he should die to the Maledict and Urn. Yeah, he's dead.
All right. Well, they end up being able to find that one. Meanwhile, Fear got the charge in, but wasn't able to save his buddy. Still 20-8, and the unfortunate thing is that EG is pushing up to high ground now and continuing their dominance in this game.
Yeah, it's like you got our IO, but we take your tier 2 and threaten high ground. How's Tyler doing? Does have book 3 finished, at least, on the Lycan, so that'll be okay to try to get into the fights, but it's still, when you're playing at a 12k deficit, those books, the book is not nearly as threatening.
Yeah.
Full Mjolnir on Sumail, going for Diffusal next. On top of that, BKB, he's enormous.
It really is a problem right now, and Lone Druid got into that 15 talent, so 50 extra damage.
Yep.
On top of the Dragon Lance, his range is insane and hits pretty hard. They are doing a good job of scouting out with these Lycan Wolves as well now, wanting to make sure that they at least have eyes of where the rest of EG is.
They have to make some big stuff happen, though. Like, when Aegis is gone, they have to go for some massive play with Echo Slam. They're just getting further and further behind.
Well, maybe this is that moment. We see Yang walking forward. They're smoked up. Nyx Assassin is going to be one to scout it.
Fear's going to play on the side, though, with a sentry as well, so he can look to scout out, hopefully.
Nyx is actually here, though. So they're actually going around the sentry wards right now, and they do have eyes on to Arteezy. The Impale, no, it doesn't end up connecting. Yang is there as well, trying to bring him down low. Can they actually do it? They get the relocate into the trees. That's going to keep Arteezy alive for the moment. Mr. S pops the BKB, turns to fight onto Sylar. He's ripping him to shreds. Oh, it was looking good, but only for a moment. And now VGJ on the full retreat. The Necro gets eaten alive. Echo Slam. It is not going to be enough. Sumail still lives. Oh, he does finally end up dropping, but it comes at a hell of a price. Triple kill for the Lone Druid.
I think this game's actually just over. They have to commit so much just to kill one hero. Beautiful defensive relocate coming out from Crit, but that already felt like it's a very desperate maneuver coming out from Thunder. Going for the back lines, and they have to land. They have to get this fight executed so perfectly, and they can't fight around the pipe. As soon as Universe runs in, pops pipe, the majority of their damage is just completely negated. And this should be a clean, easy Rax for EG here.
Yeah, this has gone completely not the way that they wanted to. And, I mean, do they even just stick around for another one, or do you think that they're going to play it more safe?
Play safe. Everyone's respawning.
Oh.
No need to take the risk. Sumail's dead, too. They can take Shrines now as well, because the tier 3 is down, and they have bottom lane pushing in. They have resources they can still occupy on EG and Thunder. And looking to be losing this one pretty soon here. Almost 20k gold lead now.
I mean, it's one of those things that it's just... everything is going right for the EG lineup here. And again, they're going to go on to Universe.
He
Crit
has
does have relocate.
a pipe, though.
Well, and they're relocating in with Crit. And now the Gankers become the Gankies as they've caught themselves and killed off the Witch Doctor. Missed it.
Misclick. He used his hero Savage Roar, not the bear. Oops.
He was pinging it himself. Maybe a little bit upset about that situation.
That happens. They just miss out on a kill, but either way, it's, you know, Universe is just way too durable for them to go for him there. And Thunder is absolutely desperate to try to get any kills on the board.
It never really felt like they had a chance. Like, the entire game, we were just talking about how this was going to go so poorly out of the laning stage, and now it's a 19,000 net worth lead.
They got, I mean, EG got everything they wanted. They got the Lone Druid in the 1v1 matchup, they got the Bloodseeker in a favorable matchup, and they shut down the Necro. I've not seen the Necro really able to do much in this game at all. You can't walk in.
Well, there is going to be the Lycan ulti used. They're chasing Sumail. He pops his BKB, ruptures, turns to fight, and well, now Lycan needs to run away. He is going to end up being brought down in the end, and now they've caught themselves this Earthshaker as well. It's a Witch Doctor ulti, but it's not really doing a whole hell of a lot. He falls as well. 3 gone, no buyback. EG looking to clean this one up.
I'm surprised they haven't called it yet. Just how much of a blunder each fight is. Lycan just gets ruptured, and he has to stand toe-to-toe versus Bloodseeker with overcharge on him. I mean, Sumail almost does get kind of low, but with BKB, there's no risk of him getting disabled.
Yeah. And I mean, also you have the BKB Pearson disables that are coming out from the Spirit Breaker, his ability to stay on top of her bales. Should I say BKB Pearson disables? There aren't any BKBs.
Yeah. they're in too much of a deficit to have anything. And they're going to go high ground now.
All right, well, they're going to need to cook up something big to stop this push.
They're actually just going to clean up the last shrine first.
All right. EG staying very focused, eyes on the prize, making sure they get these objectives.
Minimal mistakes coming out for them. They've been playing it almost perfectly this game, I'd say. I haven't really seen anybody really get picked off by themselves, and if they have, it's been turned around. Maybe Thier, I guess, died like once trying to get some wards out, but like that's not even a big deal as a Spirit Breaker. That's kind of your job.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just, yeah, they're just maneuvering very well, and that's what happens when you have such an advantage out of the laning phase. It makes the game a lot easier to play.
Well, things that could go better in the next game, at least, just to sort of try and talk about that. I mean, we might have to wait because it looks like Universe is sitting over here in the trees, ready to blink on top of somebody. They're trying to get set up onto Sumail, and this could be the final hurrah. They actually get a 2-person ice path with the macro pyre down. Yang in a hell of a lot of trouble. He is just getting torn to shreds again and starting to drop low. Sylar trying to do anything at all, but he is ruptured. They've caught themselves the Necro yet again. He's gone in just a second here, most likely, as Sumail chases him down. There are a couple stuns going out, so they got to hold on for the moment. Fade was able to get out there as well. The Mjolnir proc's dealing a hell of a lot of damage, and Sumail, he doesn't care about your towers. The turnaround, the Echo Slam, he really just do it. They actually bring him down. Sumail ends up falling, 90 seconds, no buyback. But I don't know if this is going to end up turning into any more kills after the fact.
They're getting bloodthirsty. I was saying, little to no mistakes coming out for EG. They could have probably played a little patient there hitting buildings, but they wanted to go for the kills. They wanted to end this game and just have it get cleaned up at that moment. But some nice buybacks, decent. I think that's like one of the better Reaper sites that they've gotten. But Sylar's not getting to play Dota is the biggest thing. He just gets ruptured and he just can't do anything. 0 and 7 on the Lycan.
Hasn't been the best of games. And
they still, I don't think EG wants to make those kind of mistakes. It's like this game is pretty much unlosable for them with the 24,000 gold advantage. They can just take it a bit slower. Getting a little bit overzealous, we could say. We'll probably see them pick up a gem though, so they make sure that the Nyx doesn't get stalk them anymore, but it's not even too necessary.
And it does feel like, you know, if they start to get their feet back under them a little bit, VGJ, you certainly don't want to throw this type of a game away, considering how well it's gone for EG at this point. And the wraparound is coming. They're still here. They don't have Echo Slam, but they have pretty much everything else, and they will spot out Universe inside the trees. They get the initiation that's there already at the start for Arteezy's on the other side. He does get caught out now by the Earthshaker as well. The roar comes out. That forces Yang away, and now underneath the tower yet again, Sylar going to go down. And they are not really able to stop the pressure coming from EG. Yang is eventually going to fall there. And VGJ just need to back out. They did kill the universe at the very least.
Uh-oh, Necro's got no TP though. He's got a blink, but oh, Sumail doesn't actually have vision of him for the moment. But he looks like he's trying to chase. I think he got a glimpse of him for a second. But no, Necro's gonna be safe. But yeah, 2 heroes dead. They killed Jakiro, but again, Sylar just can't do anything in the fights. This time he didn't even get ruptured. He just got rooted by the bear once and died to all the massive damage coming out from EG.
Well, another thing to keep in mind here, Necro does have the relic completed. He got a decent chunk of gold in those last couple of engagements. So
but it's 30 minutes in
though. It's pretty tough.
Yeah.
It's not what you want to have happen. Tier 3 tower down. Arteezy hitting from the low ground, dealing quite a bit of damage. But it seems unlikely that they're going to be able to blow him up. Maybe they can kill the bear. It does end up falling. It's a nice little 300 gold in their coffers.
It is a naked bear though. He's playing as the ranged lone druid, so it doesn't really matter if he loses it.
Well,
kind of cool having the lone druid versus necro matchup. Not directly in the game, but overall. The Heartstopper does not affect the Spirit Bear, so that's cool, and he can also kind of outrange the Necro in a way. He doesn't have to get right in his face, which is usually what we see the downfall for people when they're playing versus Necro. So it's pretty interesting approach coming out from EG.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, and it's forced Necrophos to go into this blink build to try and get on top of them. Relocate. They got him caught. Yang is there. Sylar gonna just try and run away again, and actually maybe gonna be able to bring down Crypt beforehand. No, they get the fear. He's forced to run away pretty quick while he's ruptured, and GG called. Yeah. Yang has had enough.
I think it's been at that point for quite a while, but they tried to stick it out, hoping that EG would make some mistakes, but EG playing a very crisp, clean game. Minimal errors from their side from the start to the finish.
Yeah.
They should feel pretty happy about that one. Fear's smiling, R2 is smiling. Universe is like, I'm Jakiro.
Yeah, they're pretty happy with themselves, I'm sure, though. And again, it's like everything that could go right in that